Hi everyone, welcome to our next sports psychology screencast, and today we're going to be looking at aggression and assertion and the difference between the two. So in terms of what we're covering in the specification, we're looking at the difference between aggression and assertion, which is explained here, which is why it's so lengthy. We're going to be looking at aggression theories, and we're going to be looking at different types of aggression as well. Again, as I've just mentioned there, it is quite a lengthy part of the specification, but it's because it involves, or it outlines what these theories are in the specification. So if you need to come back to this at the end and check, that's absolutely fine. So our key question today is, what are aggression and assertion, and how can they be categorized? So we're looking at, to start with, the key terms of aggression and assertion. And these are key words in which you could be asked to define in the exam, so important to learn them. So aggression is a behaviour intended to harm another person, and this can be either physiologically or psychologically, but it's outside the laws of the game. And that's the important bit that we need to remember about aggression, that it's outside the laws of the game. Assertion is using that physical force, but within the rules of the game and the ethics of sport, and therefore it's legitimate. So the difference between the two is our aggression is outside of the laws, whereas our assertion is inside of the laws. And I've got some examples here. So aggression, we can see from this tackle here, it's outside of the laws of the game. Whereas assertion, something like a rugby tackle, it's inside the laws of the game, but using that physical force in an aggressive way, but that's our assertion. So we've got aggression here, and we've got assertion on the right-hand side, the difference between the two. So a few more key terms, not key terms that you'd be asked to define, but things that we're going to look at in terms of our types of aggression. So hostile aggression. So this is the intent to harm and harming another individual. So the goal is to harm with arousal and anger involved. Whereas instrumental aggression has the intent to harm, but with the goal to win. So that's the important difference between the two. The intent to harm the person, but this one is the intent to harm with the goal to win. So this is used as a tactic named dirty play. It's not acceptable in sports. It's illegal except in things like boxing and martial arts, where obviously the intent is to harm with the goal to win. So there I've got some examples. So our hostile aggression might be our ice hockey, where the intent is just to harm the other person, hurt the other person. Whereas here, this tackle here, the intent to harm, but maybe the goal to win, trying to win the match. And obviously are within the rules are boxing or martial arts. The intent is to harm, but with the goal to win. It's not actually just I want to punch the other person to pieces. It's I want to win that match. Okay, so we looked at a few key definitions there. We're going to look at some aggression theories now. So instinct theory, which is by a theorist called Lorentz, and he suggested that aggression is innate and instinctive, and it's caused by the survival of species response. Okay, so we can link this kind of historical content. So it's built up aggression, and aggression is a cathartic response. So again, we can link it to hunting, fighting, things like that. Comes from that survival of the species, so it's instinct, it's innate to us as a human race. But we can link it to personality theories that aggression would differ between other people and is more kind of instinctive to others. So frustration aggression theory by Dollard, and this suggests that aggression is caused by frustration. So it might be that you're losing a game or performing poorly yourself, and that aggression comes as a result of that frustration. So it's blocking their achievement goal. So social learning theory, which we've touched upon in different aspects of psychology already, and this is by Bandura. It's saying that our aggression is learned as an observation of others. So it's an imitation of aggressive behaviour that we've already seen. So it might be seeing something that's aggressive on the television, and then a young sports performer seeing that aggression and replicating it in their own performance because that behaviour has become socially acceptable to them. And then Q hypothesis by Berkowitz is saying that we have that aggression and that anger built up, but it's a cue that triggers it. So frustration causes anger and arousal, which creates the readiness for aggression. And then the cue is what causes that aggression to come out. Okay, so aggression is a learned response. So it might be seeing a teammate being fouled and then deciding to join in, like in this picture here, with that aggressive behaviour. The teammate being fouled would be the cue, but that anger and aggression is already there, built up in that person. And the last thing we're going to look at is de-individuation. And this is kind of being part of a crowd or a group, and that individual aspect is lost, causing that aggression. So it might be someone who's normally quite an upstanding member of the community. When they get in a football crowd, they're not considered an individual anymore. They're part of the crowd, and that aggressive behaviour coming out there. So that's our different theories of aggression, and looking at assertion as well, thinking about how we can categorise it, what is acceptable and what is not acceptable, what's within the rules and what's not. If you need to go back and look at any parts of the video, feel free to do so, or have a recap of the specification at the start, which has a little bit more information as well.